Hello and welcome to today's Catholic Focus News Bulletin. I am Susan Bulemi, and with me on the Sign Language Interpretation Desk is Eric Maluki. We kick off our stories today from Machakos County, whereby Governor Wavinya Ndeti has urged the national government to reconsider plans to establish an Ebola quarantine facility in Kenya, warning it could pose serious health risks given the country's fragile health system. Her remarks come amid controversy over the project in Nanyuki, even as President William Ruto maintains the plan, citing strategic and diplomatic interests. Take a look.
Ningependa kuuliza serikali kuu tuangalie hii maneno ya Ebola. Sisi kama wa Kenya hatujawahi hata siku moja kuwa na hizo cases za Ebola. We need to be very cautious as a government. Tusikuje tujiletee shida sisi wenyewe. In fact, mahali ingetengenezwa hata hiyo quarantine ingekuwa huko Congo, kwa DRC, kwa sababu huko ndio hiyo ugonjwa iko. Kwa hivyo mahali ya kutengeneza pazuri, mkiniuliza mimi maoni yangu kama Wavinya, ningesema hiyo quarantine tuongee na America waende wajenge wapi? Congo, because huko ndio iko na hiyo shida. Sisi hatuna hiyo shida, na niwauliza Wakenya tutarudi mahali tulikuwa wakati wa corona.
And now, away from that, residents of Athi River and surrounding areas have been cautioned about a surge in scammers, posing as officials assisting with the registration and acquisition of key government documents, particularly birth certificates. Let's get that report from Deborah Bahati.
Local Chief Cecilia Nzioka, alongside community leader Frida Wendo, says thousands of residents have fallen victim to the scheme, losing money to fraudsters who promise fast-tracking services. The two were speaking while overseeing a registration exercise near the EPZ gate aimed at helping residents access the crucial documents.
Of late tumekuwa na issues ambao watu wanakuja wanatapeliwa, wakiambiwa watachukuliwa birth certificate, wanatoa pesa 1,100 ama 2,000. Na wakati saa zingine wanapata hizo birth certificate, lakini unapata hizo birth certificate haziko genuine.
They noted that many locals have struggled for years to obtain birth certificates, leaving them vulnerable to exploitation by con artists.
Kuna watoto wengi ama wafanyikazi wengi wa kipato cha chini sana, na hii initiative ya kupeana birth certificates ililetwa kwa sababu ya demand ile ilikuwa imetokana na wafanyikazi wa hapa ambao walikuwa wamenyang'anywa kwa muda mrefu na watapeli. Hiki cheti cha certificate sio rahisi sana kukipata, kwa sababu wafanyikazi wengi hapa hawana nafasi ya kuenda mahali kwa hizi registration offices ili kuprocess hizi certificates zao.
More than 170 residents have already received their certificates, while over 700 others have turned up in search for the essential documents.
Wakati tulifika hapa kulikuwa na demand sana. Watu 700 walijaza hizo certificates kuonesha kwamba kuna demand ya hizo certificates.
Sasa mimi nimeshukuru sana kupata hii birth certificate hapa. Nimehangaika sana. Nimepeana 2,000 kupewa hii birth certificate sipati. Kapeana tena 3,000 sipati. Lakini siku ya leo nimeshukuru sana kuipata. Nimeshukuru hapa IBZ kwa kutusaidia sana.
Reporting for Catholic Focus, I'm Deborah Bahati.
And now we shift our focus to the western region of Kenya, whereby an elderly widow from Shipalo village in Shinyalu constituency, Kakamega County, is appealing for justice after being evicted from a parcel of land she claims to have occupied for more than 5 decades. The eviction has sparked outrage and calls for intervention from the community members and Shibuye Community Health Workers, an organization that advocates for women's land rights. Here's the full report from David Wekesa.
And Shiramba says she has lived on the land since 1975 following an agreement between her late husband and his brother-in-law, who exchanged about 5 acres of land. She now says she faces an uncertain future after being forcibly removed from the property she considers her rightful home.
Nisikia watu wanapika nyumba. Nikaamuka wakapika nyumba ina mao yote naanguka chini, natoka wanachoma ingine wanachanguka, ile ya mabati ni ile ya nyasi wanachoma. Sasa nitaenda wapi? Niingia hapo 75 mpaka sasa wanapomoa bomo yangu yote. Sasa wanapomoa yangu ni mali yangu wanachukua, nitaenda wapi? Mimi naomba serikali, naomba serikali inisaidie.
Members of the local community have condemned the eviction, insisting the land exchange agreement was widely known and witnessed by relatives and neighbors at the time.
Hii ni shamba ambalo sisi kama jamii tungehusishwa, tungesaidia hii familia kusuluhisha nje ya koti, ndio mambo kama ambayo yalifanyika yasifanyike. Huyu mama alikuwa anakuwa evicted kulingana na maybe order ambayo ilikuwa. Kwa nini shamba lake, kwa nini yeye aliamukiwa na polisi 200? Na huyu ni mama ako na miaka 90. Mbona wangeleta tu village elder asimame hapo na wafanye eviction yao? Kwa sababu huyu mama hangefanya kitu yote, na huyu mama hata kiamii haikuwa imeresist.
The Shibuya Community Health Workers, an organization advocating for women's land rights, has also weighed in, demanding justice for the widow and criticizing local leadership for failing to protect vulnerable residents.
Shamba ambayo ni quick catch ni ile mjane amebaki, pengine familia hii kufanya process ya succession. Kwa hivyo huyo mjane hana title deed, bwana yake alikufa, baba ya huyo father-in-law ya huyo mjane hata hakuwa na title deed. So mashamba nyingi zingali hazijafanywa succession kama shamba ya huyu mama, na hizo ndio mashamba wajane wakibaki wananyang'anywa. Na wananyang'anywa kwa hali mbaya sana.
Reporting for Catholic Focus, I'm David Wekesa.
Indeed, it's very sad to see the elderly having to go through such injustice in the society, but we do hope she will get the justice that she requires from the government and also from the society in general. Now, still in Kakamega County, transport in Kakamega town was briefly disrupted after tensions erupted among tuk-tuk operators over disputed leadership elections, with rival factions rejecting the outcome. A section of operators has rejected the outcome of the poll, alleging that the exercise was marred by irregularities, political interference, and fraud. Tracy Chebet with the full details.
The disgruntled group says it does not recognize the newly elected leadership and insists it will continue to back the previous office holders until fresh elections are conducted.
Kulikuwa na rigging katika hiyo uchaguzi. Tulikuwa na watu ambao ilikuwa wapige kura watu 159, lakini katika hesabu zetu tumepata watu 153, na tukiuliza hawakutuambia. Then kitu yenye pia tunapinga na tukikataa, nikiwa hapo nikauliza nikafungiwa, ilikuwa kwamba watu wa social services watakujaje kusimamia mambo ya cooperative, kwa sababu tuko na sako ambazo zilikuwa zina run hiyo mkutano ambapo wao ndio wangekuwa mbele.
We have resolved not to recognize the outcome of the elections pending a comprehensive review of the events surrounding the exercise. This decision has been necessitated by allegations of bribery, irregular influence of the voting process, and interference by political actors whose involvement compromised the neutrality and credibility of the elections.
However, Rajab, who was elected chairman of the Kakamega Tuk-Tuk Operators Association, has defended the process, terming it free, fair, and transparent. He says efforts to introduce reforms within the association has faced resistance from some members opposed to change.
Ulikuwa uchaguzi wa haki na tulikuwa mpaka na security ya kutosha, ambayo tuliandika barua mpaka kwa OSPD, barua kwa OCS, barua kwa kitengo ya Kanjo, na tukawa na mkubwa wa Kanjo ambaye ni Ismail, alikuwa pale na vijana wake, tukawa na maaskari tuliletewa. So uchaguzi ikafanyika. Kura zetu zile ambazo sisi tulipiga za uchairman niliwashinda kwa kweli na niliwapeleka nyumbani mapema.
The dispute has exposed deep divisions within the operator's body, with calls now growing for dialogue to resolve the leadership standoff and restore normal transport operations. Reporting for Catholic Focus, I'm Tracy Chebet.
And now on some business news that we have for you here today is that Kenya's automotive sector has received a significant boost following the launch of a new Toyota Hiace assembly line at Kenya Vehicle Manufacturers in Thika, a project expected to create hundreds of jobs and strengthen local vehicle production. Here's our very own Maureen Kimani with a full report.
Kenya has taken another significant step towards strengthening its manufacturing sector with the commissioning of a new Toyota Hiace assembly line at Kenya Vehicle Manufacturers in Thika. Speaking during the launch, Avinda Real described the assembly line as a landmark achievement that will help drive the growth of local manufacturing while enhancing access to quality vehicles for the Kenyan market.
While Kenya vehicle assembly industry currently operates below its installed capacity, the sector possesses enormous potential to contribute meaningfully to economic growth and manufacturing output. So specifically for here, Hiace assembly plant, we target to assemble roughly 700 units during the first year of production, with further growth expected as the market demand expands and policy reforms continue to support the industry.
The facility, officially launched by the Cabinet Secretary for Investments, Trade and Industry, Lee Kinyanjui, will see the popular Toyota Hiace vehicle assembled locally to serve key sectors including public transport, education, tourism, logistics and business operations.
Following high-level discussions between the government of Kenya, led by His Excellency President William Ruto, and the Toyota Tsusho Corporation in Japan, we signed a framework agreement for the collaboration, one that, among others, has resulted in the revamping of the KVM. And as the ambassador has mentioned, this is a samurai financing that will be available for auto manufacturers, auto part manufacturers who want to develop and participate in the broader auto industry. And therefore, once we start disbursing this fund, we expect that small SMEs that can be able to do carpets for the vehicle, exhausts, chairs, and any other of the smaller accessories at the initial start will be able to benefit from this.
As we look into the future, the vision for KVM is very clear for us. We aim to transform KVM into a world-class assembler renowned for high-quality standards of production and innovation.
We have been having problems with getting these vehicles because these vehicles, to get it, you have to wait for months in order you can get one. And so you have heard from the mouths of the readers from Sifao how many they can assemble in one day, and the requirement. You can see now they have a shortfall or a backlog of over 700. But now coming to Thika, now it is a milestone because we know that we shall be able to get this vehicle in good time.
Reporting for Catholic Focus, I'm Maureen Kimani.
And that report right there from Maureen Kimani brings us to the end of today's Catholic Focus News Bulletin. I am Susan Bulemi, and our sign language interpreter has been Eric Maloki. Until next time, stay safe, be blessed, and remember to always keep it Capuchin TV.